Hi, Miss Jenica. Is my audio clear?
Yes, it is. Yes, it's clear.
Hi, Hannah. Good afternoon.
Hi, Ma'am Rose.
Hannah?
Good afternoon po. Yes, ma'am. Hello? Hello, ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am, hello. Good afternoon po.
Hi, Hannah. Good afternoon. Is my audio clear?
Clear po, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time to register and join us this afternoon as we discuss to you the nursing opportunity in Canada. Of course, this is in partnership with Stenberg College, our partner school in Canada. Before we formally start this webinar, my apology for I cannot turn on my cam, and I just don't feel good today because I just came from a flu, and until now I still have, cough. But going to the webinar proper, I just want to remind everybody that later on after each discussion of immigration services and processes, we also have, of course, the speaker from Stenberg College. We will have our Q&A portion wherein you'll have your opportunity to ask your questions or clarifications if you have. But during the presentation, I encourage everyone to temporarily post your questions in our chat box. Then we will address them one by one later after our discussion for today. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rose Garcia. I am the Client Acquisition Manager of Herman & Associates Immigration Services. And I will be discussing today the immigration process and on how you will be able to secure a valid visa for you to be able to work as nurse or migrate to Canada by means of nursing pathway. Okay, to begin with, let me introduce to you our company. Our company is Roman and Associates Immigration Services Limited. We are a registered Canadian immigration firm in British Columbia, Canada. We have our two offices in Canada. We have in 6057 Dumont Road, Nanaimo, British Columbia. And in the Philippines, we have our head office at President J.P. Laurel Highway, Lipa City, Batangas. And for those, for our clients coming from North or probably Central Luzon, we have our extension office in Kalumpit, Bulacan. So should you want to visit us there, we would love to see you and assist you personally. Unlike other private organizations offering the same services, what makes us different is that we have our own licensed immigration consultant. Our licensed immigration consultant is Mr. Israel Rahman. His license number is R524540. Of course, he is a registered nurse in Nanaimo, BC. And he is registered with the Immigration Consultant of Canada Regulatory Council. So I just want to share some facts about the man behind our organization. Way back 2008, when he decided to migrate to Canada and work there as a registered nurse, and now he is working as nurse manager with one of the biggest hospitals in Nanaimo, British Columbia. Prior to his migrating to Canada, he used to work as nursing professor with one of the biggest universities here in the Philippines. And now he successfully, land into a position wherein he really put his soul and self in servicing our Filipino clients and, of course, his patients in the hospital where he is currently working. So that's how he's dedicated to his craft and chosen field. That's our licensed immigration consultant, Mr. Israel Rahman. For you to be able to check, of course, you really want to check if you are really talking to a legitimate organization, somewhat talking to legitimate person. So flashed on the screen, this is how you are able to check if Mr. Israel Rahman is indeed an active licensed immigration consultant. So you just need to simply go to the CICC website. Then this will give you the specific, page for that one. And you just need to go below the entry page. Then below that one, you'll see the public register section. So you just need to go there. And this will give you this view. By means of filling out the specific details, you will be able to check the person you want to check for this one. You don't need to fill out all those necessary for blanks or spaces there. You just need to indicate, if you know the license number of the person you are checking, you just need to indicate the license number. So for the case of Sir Israel, you just need to indicate his license number, which is R524540. Then you just need to click search button. After clicking that one, this will give you this view. The name, the status, and the license number will appear on that specific view. For the case of Sir Israel, since you indicated his license number, this will give you the specific view wherein it is proven, of course, you can counter check that Sir Israel Rahman is indeed an active licensed immigration consultant. So that will give you, of course, the confidence to transact with us, to seek for our services, to avail our services in securing your necessary visa to Canada. Okay, so for this webinar, our main goal is to be able to educate you on how to become a registered nurse in Canada. We have two options for this one. We have our not so easy version, and the other one is what we call the fast and easy version. So the not so easy version, this is the typical. This is the regular stream on how you will be able to work as registered nurse in Canada. So you have to undergo all these processes for you to be able to work as registered nurse in Canada. Of course, you need to take your IELTS. You need to be registered to National Nursing Assessment Service. Of course, if it happened that your IELTS expires, you simply need to retake your IELTS for you to secure a valid one. Then after that, you also need to pass the Nursing Competency Assessment Service, which is what we call the NCAS. Of course, it has two parts, the computer-based assessment and the simulated lab and oral assessment. So you have to pass the NCAS. After that, after passing the NCAS, you also need to pass the transitional coursework for internationally educated nurses. Then after that, that's the only time that you can registered for you to take the NCLEX. So this is the PRC that we know here in the Philippines. Then after that, that's the only time that you can apply for a full-time employment. So there you go. That's the process, the regular stream, and how you will be able to work as registered nurse in Canada. So you have to undergo all those steps necessary for your desire to work as registered nurse in Canada. I will now be presenting to you the fast and easy version. So as the title itself, it's fast and easy. It's because you only need to consider two things for this one. Of course, you have to seek for our help. You talk to the representative of Roman and Associates Immigration Services. And we are to, of course, talk to Stenberg College for their program. By means of this magic formula, you will now be able to work as registered nurse in Canada. How? We'll discuss this on the following slide. This is the option 2, which is the fast and easy version. So you simply need to apply for study permit. After applying for that one, of course, you need to take the postgraduate diploma in Canadian nursing. So this is what we call the PGDCN program. Of course, our partner school offering that specific program is none other than the Stenberg College. And after that, after finishing the PGDCN program in Stenberg College, you may now apply for permanent residency and open work permit by means of PNP program. So as simple as that, you simply need to apply for study permit. Then after that, after you successfully finish the program, you may now apply for a full-time work in Canada. Okay, so in consideration of the fact that you want to work, of course, you want to study and work in Canada, how sure are you that there are really jobs waiting for you? So flash on your screen, this is just one way on how you will be able to check if there are really available jobs for nurses in Canada. You simply need to go to the website of the Island Health. Then you just go to the quick job search. Then this will give you this field. You can choose anywhere in British Columbia, or if you have like specific location which you prefer, then you may just choose from the drop down. Then for the category, let's say for example, you are to search the nursing jobs available, all nursing jobs, you just need to choose the 593 code, then it will give you the, all the available jobs for nursing. Of course, when we able to check that there are really available jobs for you in Canada, next question would be, how much will you be earning? Okay, so this is a sample of wage grade 2019 to 2022 NBA collective agreement for nurses union. So for registered nurse in Canada, they are under level 3. So there are and RPN. On the first year, your hourly rate would be 35.53 Canadian dollars. On the second year, it will be 36.89 Canadian dollars. On the third year, it will be 38.26 Canadian dollars, and so on and so forth. So it increases as you increase your tenure in Canada. How about if we are to compute that one, given that you already know your hourly rate in Canada as registered nurse? Okay, so considering that your hourly rate is 35.53 per hour and you are asked to work 40 hours per week, you will be earning 1,421.20 Canadian dollars in just 1 week. If we are to compute that one for the whole month, that will give you 5,684.80 Canadian dollars. And of course, if we are to compute that one for the whole year, you will be earning 73,902.40 Canadian dollars for the whole year. Imagine its equivalent if we are to convert that one to peso. In consideration of the latest conversion rate as of today, which is May 28, 2022 here in the Philippines, 41 pesos per Canadian dollar. 73,902.40 is equivalent to 3,029,998.40. Imagine by just working 12 months or one whole year, you will be given the chance or the opportunity to earn this much. Wherein if you are here in the Philippines, you have to spend half of your life or even most years of your life working, and you won't be able to get this one if you did not retire at 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 a very high position. Like for example, for those private institutions, if you retire as VP or probably senior managers or AVP, that's the only time that you'll get the chance to have this as your retirement pay. But how about if you're just working, like if you're just a rank and file or a regular employee, you won't be able to have this as your retirement pay. But in Canada, you just need to work for 1 whole year as a registered nurse, then you will be earning 3 million pesos in just 1 year. So imagine how good the opportunity is. This is a life-changing opportunity. So for all our nurses out there, this would be the best pathway for you. And later on, we'll know more about the program details as we have Miss Jenica to discuss with us the complete details for this one. So there you go. That's our fast and easy version. So for this pathway, you will now be able to work as a registered nurse in Canada. How about if we are to discuss now, what are the advantages of joining with us? Of course, Roman and Associates Immigration Services, you simply need to talk to us if you want to avail our service. And if you are seeing that this pathway will be your best pathway to be able to work and move to Canada by means of student pathway. So of course, we are partnered with a highly respected college, which is the Stenberg. We also have reasonable administration fee. You'll have your job security as a registered nurse post-course. And our service doesn't end as soon as you get into Canada, and we'll send you there for your schooling, but we will definitely guide you until you get your permanent residency status in Canada. So the more that you're in Canada, the more we get excited in waiting for that specific time wherein you can already apply for permanent residency visa. So Roman and Associates will be there for you on your first day of joining, attending your schooling, down to the moment that you are to apply your permanent residency status in Canada. So that's how we provide our service to our clients who's trusting us and securing our services in helping them achieve their dream of living a life in Canada. Okay, so again, I just want to reiterate and let everyone be reminded of this specific formula. If you want to work as registered nurse in Canada, you just simply need to talk to Roman and Associates Immigration Services or Stenberg College. Then this will definitely give you the answer to your question on how you will be able to migrate to Canada and live a life there. Okay, so to begin the process, let us consider this as a one-time opportunity. So if you are asking when to start, my answer is you have to start now. Not later, not tomorrow, but now. And for us to be able to assess your eligibility to apply for that one, for the specific program, which is the PGDCN program, you simply need to send your detailed resume to our email address flash on your screen, which is assessment@romancis.ca. And for easy identification of your application, you just need to use subject line assessment for Stenberg College. Then we would love to send you our eligibility check email to give you an overview of the process and important details about the program. So again, don't forget to send your CV to assessment@romancis.ca with subject line assessment for Stenberg College. Okay, so that's all for the immigration process from Roman and Associates Immigration Services. I may now I'll give the floor to our Stenberg representative, Ms. Jenica, as she will discuss with you the program details about the nursing pathway to Canada.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Janica. So I will be speaking about Stenberg College. So okay, there you go. So I will be sharing my screen with you. If the host can kindly please allow me to be the host. All right, there you go. I am hoping that you can see my screen here. So to get started, again, I'd like to formally introduce myself. My name is Jenica Licerio. I am the Director of International Admissions and Recruitment for Southeast Asia and the Middle East for Stenberg College. And I'll be talking about one specific program for our registered nurses out there. So first, let me just play our introductory video for you. Okay, there you go. So here are the topics that we will be discussing today. I'm going to give you an overview of our institution, and then we'll review the licensing process. We're going to talk about the program called Postgraduate Diploma in Canadian Nursing. I'll share some employment opportunities for you and possible PR pathways, the enrollment process, and last but not the least, I actually did not include it here, but it will be an introduction or for you to meet one of our employer partners. So here in the Philippines, you might encounter not just me, but also Alexa Laksa, who's our international education advisor. Now, once you send your inquiry, let's say directly to Stenberg College, you will be redirected here in the Philippines. So we partner with different agencies such as Nominee and Associates, who's been our partner and has sent us students who are now currently taking the program on campus. So for any inquiries on the visa, we would have to redirect you to the Roman and Associates team. So just to give you a bit of an overview of our institution, Stenberg College is an accredited private post-secondary college. We were founded back in 1990 by Mary Jane Stenberg. So we are a designated learning institution, and over the years, we were able to also expand our program offerings. Although we are a well-established medical college and our main programs would focus more on medical, we were able to expand into education, human services, and business programs. So we are under the management of the education company called Tech Global. And we have a sister school also located in British Columbia, which is called Center for Arts and Technology. So as mentioned, the location is in Surrey, British Columbia. Now, we are just about 40-minute train ride away from Vancouver downtown. Surrey is still part of downtown. It's a suburb. And we are the second largest city in British Columbia. One of the things that we're quite known for would be our strong employer and industry relationship. So this is something that I'll be discussing more later on. Once you become part of Stenberg College, we make sure that you have all the support that you need, and we have the services for us to help you be successful. So when we talk about support and services, what we mean by that is that we have student services. So you can approach any of our student services staff who can assist you and redirect you to the proper department. So we have academic support, accommodation support, career services, co-op, practicum and job placement support, and we have immigration consultation support. So I just want to highlight a few things here. First is the academic support. Okay, as an international student, you will be allowed to work part-time, but that's not saying that you should be focused on that because you are still under a student visa, right? So you need to pass your subjects, and in order for you to adjust to your new learning environment, and if you have any questions or need further assistance with your academics, you can schedule an appointment with our instructors. You can approach them, you can have a one-on-one session with them. We can even appoint a life coach for you if that is something that you need to guide you on how you can balance your school life and your work life. And we have free English classes, which you can join if you want to improve your English communication skills. Another thing that I want to highlight here is the career services. So during your orientation, you will be introduced to the team, to the career services team, and to the co-op coordinator, where they will be assisting you in improving your resume, cover letters, and maybe give you simulation for interview, and of course, connect you or endorse you to future employers or our partner employers. Last but not the least, I want to highlight that we only partner with legitimate immigration consultants. So we are in partnership with Duman and Associates, and Mr. Israel is a licensed immigration consultant. So now let's just review. This was mentioned earlier by Rose, but let us review the RN and LPN licensing. And before I show you the video, I just want to clarify this. When you study in Canada, and let's say you choose, you're already a registered nurse and you choose a program that is similar to nursing, but not, not Bachelor of Nursing, similar to it, it does not necessarily mean that after you complete that program, that you will already gain your license. That's not how it works. You would need, because you are an internationally educated nurse, you've gained your bachelor degree or maybe diploma of nursing outside of Canada and have gained that work experience outside of Canada as well, then you will need to go through an RN and LPN licensing process. So that is on top of what you're studying in Canada. So with this, you will have a lot of information. If you check, Google, you do your research, there's just an overwhelming wealth of information out there. And what we did here is we simplified it for you so that it's easier to understand. Now, the process here can be applicable to other provinces as well, with just slight variations, because each province in Canada will have its own nursing regulatory body. So what you'll see here in this video would be steps including the regulatory body in British Columbia. So let me play this video for you.
How to process your nursing license in British Columbia, Canada. First, let's learn about the different designations as a nurse in Canada. Licensed practical nurses, or LPNs, usually work with patients who have stable and uncomplicated situations. An LPN has to work under the supervision of an RN. Registered nurses, or RNs, are equipped in handling complex needs. They are trained to react appropriately in non-routine situations. Psychiatric nurses, or RPNs, mainly focus on psychiatric care. In this presentation, we'll focus on RNs and LPNs. To become an RN or LPN, you must first apply to NNAS. This is an online application that collects and evaluates all internationally educated nurses. Application can be done even outside of Canada. You'll need to provide evidence of your identification, academic background, work experience, RN registration, and English proficiency. It has been recently announced that IELTS or CELBN exams may be waived as long as the applicant is able to evidence a level of English competency equaling to what is indicated on your screens. Should you go through an English test, only academic IELTS and CELBN are accepted. Step 2 is to register to the provincial regulatory body called BCCNM. This is an online application which can be done outside of Canada. BCCNM sets the standards of practice in the province and will assess all nurses. Once registered to the province, you'll receive an endorsement to proceed to Step 3. Step 3 is a competency assessment or exam provided by NCAS. This is a one-time exam only. There is no pass or fail to the exam. The goal is to identify your competency level. There are 3 components to the exam. First is a computer-based assessment. Second is a simulation where you will have to act out a case or scenario with high-fidelity mannequins and actors. And third, an oral assessment which is conducted together with a simulation. These exams will identify your competency. You can have yourself assessed as an RN, LPN, or even both. Once your assessment is complete, an assessment report will be sent back to BCCNM for assessment. Any gaps to your studies, skills, experience will be identified. If a gap is identified, a transitional coursework will be recommended. These are programs or courses that fill the gap. For those pursuing the LPN role, there is a possibility that there are no gaps. If there are, it would be very minimal, and coursework for LPNs are available almost anywhere. For RNs, expect a gap as competency level requirement is higher. For RN transitional coursework, they are only available at KPU or TRU. KPU only accepts permanent residents to be enrolled in their RN coursework. TRU allows student visa holders. However, if you're a non-Stenberg student, you'll have to meet their entry requirement, which is to have 1 year Canadian work experience before allowing you entry. For Stenberg students, this entry requirement is waived, so you'll have access to the RN transitional coursework. Coursework completion depends on you. You may complete this as quickly as you can and move to Step 5. Step 5 is your licensure exam. RNs take NCLEX and LPNs take CPNRE, or Canadian Practical Nursing Registration Exam. Now that you've passed your licensure exam, you're now eligible to practice your profession. Congratulations!
So there you go. That is the process on what you have to go through in order for you to receive your license to practice as a registered nurse or as a licensed practical nurse. If you plan to study any program in Canada and then you go through a review and training for the steps, it might cost you around 10 to 15,000 Canadian dollars just for this alone. which is why we created a program called Postgraduate Diploma in Canadian Nursing, which is specifically designed for IENs so that they will be studying the nursing Canadian context. They will also be receiving a healthcare assistant registration and all the review, preparation, and training for the licensure process. So with this program, it's a dual qualification. You will also receive the registered HCA. Being a nurse is an essential work. I think that is common knowledge. It will have high employment demand. The program has a paid co-op, job placement support, and we will assist you, we'll provide you a guide, and we'll provide all the review, preparation, and training for your registration process. So we have two variations of the program. The first variation will include a 3-month English studies component. And this is if you need an English intensive 3-month program prior the actual core program. So the total duration for this is 2.3 years, and you will have 11 months of paid co-op. An IELTS will be a requirement, or an English proficiency test will be a requirement. And this is because we follow what the BC Care Aid Registry requires as well. So if you decide to have the program with a 3-month English studies component, the total tuition fee would be $24,900 for the full duration already. So that is quite affordable, right? Only around $12,000 per year. The initial deposit is $5,150, and the rest of your balance may be paid through an installment plan. Now, most Filipinos, and what we really hope to happen is that you apply for the postgraduate diploma in Canadian nursing direct entry. There will be no need for you to go through a 3-month English studies component. So the total duration of this variation is 2 years in total with 11 months of paid co-op. Now, the IELTS again will be required. It will be, we could accept general or academic at a 6.0 overall score. If you choose this program as a direct entry, then the total tuition fee would be 20,400 CAD, and that's approximately 10,700 Canadian dollars per year. So again, that's really on the low end, right? So when you study in Canada, you normally pay 10 to 20,000 Canadian dollars per year. So as you can see, our tuition fee is reasonably priced. The initial deposit, again, is standard. It's $5,150, and the rest of your balance will be paid per installment. So who are we looking for in this program? So as mentioned in the beginning, it is specifically designed for IENs. So you need to be a registered nurse with a bachelor degree in nursing. And we're also looking for work experience. Now, the work experience that we're looking for, it's not going to be limited to bedside experience. But if you are maybe company nurse, clinic nurse, maybe a clinical instructor, any type of nursing work that requires your registration as a nurse may be accepted. So the requirement is 2 years full-time paid work in the past 10 years, wherein in that 2 years, you should have at least 900 hours or about 6 to 8 months. That's recent within the past 5 years. Now, the best way to know whether you qualify for the program or not is to submit your resume to the Roman and Associates team. They will be coordinating with me, and we are able to let you know. We can give you a free assessment if you qualify for the program or not. So if you can still make it to the fall intake, which will be in September, we can provide you an IELTS cost reimbursement of up to 350 Canadian dollars. So the highlight of this program is that we can provide, or there is an option rather, of a conditional job offer from one of our employer partners' retirement concepts. We will be providing you with an RN LPN licensing process assistance, including all of the review, preparation, and training required with NCAS and the licensure exams. This is a dual qualification, and the outcome will be you will be a registered HCA, and then the next outcome will be up to you, whether you choose to become an LPN or an RN. So these are just some of our employer partners. Now, I mentioned in the beginning, we are a private institution, which means you will not have a postgraduate work permit or you will not be eligible for the PGWP. However, there is no need for a PGWP with us because with this program, we already have the employer partner who can provide you with an LMIA, with a long-term work sponsorship. And once you accept those work offers, then you are potentially, these are the potential immigration pathways that you will be eligible for. So with the last video that I'm going to show you is to meet your future employer. And this is retirement concepts interview that we did back in January. So after this, we will recap everything that we have discussed.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jenica Licerio, and I'm the Director of International Admissions and Recruitment for Southeast Asia. We are here with Sabrina Price, and she is from Retirement Concepts. So, hi, Sabrina. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you? Hello, everybody.
Hello, thank you. All right, so let's get started. I'm just going to ask you a few questions about our partnership, Stenberg College and Retirement Concept Partnership. So first of all, can you please introduce Retirement Concepts to us?
Yeah, no problem. So Retirement Concepts, we are one of the biggest private-owned senior home companies in British Columbia. So we have 23 homes. 20 of those are in British Columbia. One is in Alberta and one is in Quebec. So we are a very big facility. We have over 6,000 people now that work for our organization. And we are happy to have new people come and join us.
Awesome. So for this year, we have collaborated and we are going to provide our students conditional job offers. We're going to provide them part-time work while they're studying, and eventually will lead to, a full-time job offer after they complete their program. So can you tell us more about that partnership?
Yeah, so we're really excited about being able to offer everyone positions while you're going through school. So starting off, if you're in school, it's going to be hard to work full-time, so you'll have the opportunity to work as a support services worker, which would fall under the categories of, say, a housekeeper, laundry aide, or server, or janitor. And then once you are going through your schooling and you've completed, say, your HCA course, we'd be able to offer you an HCA position. Same thing if you were to complete your LPN course, we'd be able to offer you an LPN job, RN course, RN job. So throughout the journey with Stenberg, you'll be able to work with Retirement Concepts on that same journey with various roles.
All right, and where are the possible locations our students will be working in?
Yeah, so we have the lovely locations on the island. Reference point would be Victoria, British Columbia. We have many homes. We have 7 homes here on the island. So I actually live on the island. I love it. It's a great place to be. Our other locations that we're able to offer these conditional job offers would be in the interior of British Columbia. Another reference point for anyone to check it out would be Kamloops, as well as Summerland and Williams Lake. So the interior is also beautiful, many lakes and nature. It's lovely.
All right, that's good. That's good to hear. Now, our students would like to know as well, especially because some of them, they may be hired as a part-time worker or maybe when they're already working full-time. And these are different positions, as mentioned. They can be working as a support, they can be working as an LPN, RN. So maybe you can give us an idea of the salary rates for each position. I know that it will change eventually when they start working, but right now, can you give us an idea of the salary rates?
Yeah, I can give you an approximate. Again, all of our homes are what we call unionized, so they're all a little bit different. So these numbers I'm giving are approximate. But say for a support services worker, so a housekeeper, laundry, or a server, right now the wages are around $20 per hour, approximately, give or take a few dollars on either side. And then a healthcare aid right now is approximately $25 to $27 per hour. LPN is around the $32 to say $36 per hour, and an RN is anywhere upwards of $40+ an hour.
Thank you for that. Now, because our students are also studying, right? And we would like them to have some sort of security that they can work at Retirement Concepts after they complete their program. So can you tell us about the conditional job offer that we will be providing the students?
Absolutely. So once you guys go through with Stenberg and you make your commitment to going with Stenberg, we'll then be able to work directly with them to have interviews with all of you. And then at that point, if we feel it is a right fit for both parties, then we'll be able to offer you a conditional job offer before you even come to Canada, which is lovely. So that gives you, one, a peace of mind that you have an employer ready to go for when you get here. It also allows us and the excitement of knowing that you're coming to join our team. So the conditional job offer, I would say, is very exciting for all of us.
Yes.
Yeah, we're very excited about it.
Exactly, yes. So as a last question, Sabrina, can you tell us what students can expect from Retirement Concepts as their new employer?
Yeah. So for us, we are very big on growth, service, integrity, and trust. That's our mission statement. So that's not just for corporate employees or for managers. That's for everyone. We want to make sure that people who are joining Retirement Concepts are really there for our residents, because at the end of the day, without the residents, we wouldn't be here. So making sure that every day you're trying to make the seniors' lives as good as possible, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for someone who's compassionate and excited about the opportunity to make a difference in these seniors' lives. Retirement Concepts, as well as us being a private employer, it's a bit smaller than working for one of the big health authorities that could have upwards of 30,000 employees, where you're not as close with your coworkers, say, or your managers. At Retirement Concepts, we treat everyone like family, and I genuinely believe that. We treat everyone like a piece of a family. So that's what you can expect from Retirement Concepts.
All right, thank you so much, Sabrina. All of these are very exciting, not just for our students, also from Stenberg College. We're pretty excited about this new venture with you, and we are confident that our students will be very happy with, this partnership, and so they have something to expect when they arrive in Canada. So thank you so much for giving us your time today. I really appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
There you go. I hope that you learned something from that video. And as a last thing, let's just quickly recap. So Stenberg has over 30 years of experience in providing quality education. We have outstanding support service to students and to graduates. We have a very strong industry partners, employer partners. They result to 98% employment rate at Stenberg, which is really, really high. We have paid co-op, job placement support, conditional job offers are available. We have the programs that we offer actually have immigration pathways, and our tuition fee is really affordable, and we have flexible payment terms for students. So with that, I'm ending my presentation and I'm giving back the floor to the Roman and Associates team. Thank you very much, Rose. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Jenica. I'm sure that our attendants were able to take note the important details about the program on how they will be able to start their application with us, of course, with Roman and Stenberg College. And like what I've said a while ago, we will be having our Q&A. So for our attendees who have questions or clarifications about what we've discussed, this will now be your chance to post or probably unmute yourself if you want to, to raise your questions so we can have them addressed and answered right away. Okay, so while you are thinking about questions or the possible questions or clarifications that you might be asking, I just want to remind everybody that after this webinar, you may now send your detailed resume for eligibility check to assessment@romancis.ca. And of course, don't forget to use the subject line assessment for Stenberg College for easy identification of your application. Come on, guys, if you have questions or clarifications, now is the time for us to raise them. So me and Ms. Jenica of Stenberg will be able to answer your question. Okay, I think Ms. Jenica, you're still there.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I think they don't have questions about what we've discussed. I'll just wait for their resume for eligibility check. Then rest assured that I'll be endorsing possible applicants to you as they decided to, to continue with the pathway by means of PGDC and program with your school. So again, thank you so much, Ms. Jenica, for joining us today. And
Thank you very much.
to all our attendees, thank you so much for your time. Then I'll see you soon with the next webinar that we will be having.
All right, thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Ms. Jenica. Bye.